Hey folks, welcome to me doing Tales of Maj'Eyal. It's one of my favorite games. It is a roguelike, and it's in some ways a very traditional one, in some ways breaks with tradition quite a lot of ways. I'm just going to jump in because nobody's watching anyway, so let's get started. So, we're going to start a new game, we're going to do a tome. We are going to be playing a Doombringer today, and to start, I'm not very good at this game. I have played it quite a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm any good at it. So I'm going to try and play something that I always wanted to be better at, and if it works out, it works out, and if not, then no harm, no foul. So I'm going to be playing a demonologist, an ogre demonologist. Demonologists are part of one of the DLC, the first DLC, Ashes of Arok. They are melee fighters that use shields, and also happen to have a sort of weird Pokemon system with demons, demon Pokemon, where they can rip the souls out of things, turn them into demons, and then slot them into their armor, which is pretty cool. I'm going to be playing an ogre with this because ogres get to wield two-handed weapons instead of a one-handed weapon in their main hand, so I'm going to have a shield and a two-handed weapon because that's rad as shit. We're going to go ahead and call... No, that's too easy. Yeah, okay. Jack stacks. Why not? You can see there's quite a lot of classes and stuff in this game. I'm going to just jump into it so that I don't get super crazy. Give them red skin, because fuck it. And we're generating. So you see here, this is the talent tree system, which is one of the defining points of Tome as opposed to games like Dungeon Crawl or Angband, or actually Angband I think did have some sort of talent tree, or ADOM, or NetHack. NetHack being like the classic one. Most of those games involve a much simpler form of talent system to allow you to change a lot on the fly, and a lot of it comes down to what you're doing. Tome is much more about like the turn-by-turn tactical combat and how you build your character. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to give me a point in Doom Shield, which will be good later. I'm going to give me a point in Rush, which allows me to close distance quickly. Doombringers use strength and magic and kind of secondarily dex, sort of, just for blocking, just for shields. So I'm going to put some more points into magic and a point into strength. As far as generic points go, I'm going to point a point into Torment. All right. Welcome to Tales of Maj'Eyal, Ashes of Uruk. The story here, rather than do voices or anything, I'm just going to give you the summary. You wake up on this burning continent, and you've been helping demons. You've basically been mind controlled. At some point, a meteor flies nearby, knocks you off the feet, and destroys the spell that holds you captive. And so you recover, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, the demons are out to kill everything I know. So you wake up, and there's the meteor, and a demon killed by a meteor, and you're surrounded by demons. So this is a roguelike. It's turn-based. Nothing happens till you move. You can see down here in the bottom right corner. I know the aspect ratio is all jacked up. That's because I am streaming on 10. I am much higher res than this. Actually, now I'm looking at it. Let me see if I can adjust the capture for scaling. Let's see if this works. Will it work? Well, who even knows? Nope, that's not really. Well, hmm. Hmm. I guess it's good that I did this on a thing. Yeah, I guess just hold on for a second while I try to figure out how to make this work. Title, multi. Well, this is going to be very interesting if I can't capture any full screen application. Okay, so it looks like it's squishing it now, but at least you guys can probably see what's going on. I'll review this later and then we'll figure out whether or not this actually works. Oh wow, that's squishy. Ah man, that's squishy. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just keep doing this and then I can adjust this later. So you can see here on the right is a fair amount of screen projector display one. Okay. You can see the tooltip on the right shows information about the enemy I'm fighting. These are Losgroths, which are medium elementals, some void elementals. I've got a demonic clerk over here, and there's me. Here at the bottom, we've got our spells. What I'm going to do in the meantime, because I need to not die here, is I'm going to move some stuff around. I'm going to block. I'm going to put up a shield. And then I'm going to start taking out the most dangerous thing first, which is the little demon guy there. Set those on fire, set those on fire, and I'm as safe as I'm going to be for now. Now that I'm situated, I'm going to set up a couple sustains. I'm going to set them to automatically use this just to make sure that if they fall off for some reason when nobody's around, I'll turn them back on. This sustain gives me more Vim, which is kind of the resource in the game or for this character, and this one allows me to get more Vim when I kill stuff. So we're going to go around here for a little bit. In Tome, alright, there we go. So block, use Demon Seed. Demon Seed is an ability that basically lets you hit an enemy with your weapon for blight damage, and then a demonic seed takes hold inside the foe, and then I smack them with a shield strike. So it dazes them, it also plants a seed in them, or it tries to. When I kill the enemy, I get to turn into a demon, and then I basically, slot that into my equipment. So I'm going to just bump attack. Now we're going to rest. Resting restores all your health. It basically lets your natural health regen take over for a while. Z explores, which lets you basically automatically explore the area until you get hit or you see something weird. We're gonna use, so periodically I'm using a spell called Flame Leash, which basically shoots out a cone, and then any foes caught inside will be pulled in towards me, have their movement speed reduced, and sets fire to the ground. This does a couple things. One thing it does is it interacts with Bleak Outcome, which stacks, every time I deal Darkness, Fire, Blight, or Acid damage, it stacks some damage, or it stacks a debuff on them that increases the Vim I get for killing them. So having this down helps. The problem is it costs 15 Vim, and because I have pretty little willpower, I'm not getting a lot back, so I have to be careful about overusing it because Vim is a pretty rare resource. But if it's the choice between that and dying, it's a lot better. Gonna go down here. So you can see here when he casts the fireball, it takes a little bit of a turn. So I know that he's casting a fireball, so I can dodge by just stepping away from it. And then I can rush at him and hit him with my shield, and then hit him with Demon Seed, and boom, taken care of. Talking about the demon slotting mechanic, so here you can see I've got a Fire Imp slotted in my main hand weapon. It gives me a talent called Flame Bolts, which we can look at by going to the talent menu, and you can see Flame Bolts, passive. Randomly 25% chance to hurl up to 2 Flame Bolts, dealing 20 damage to foes in sight when you hit in melee. So essentially it gives me another passive way of dealing fire damage, which helps my bleak outcome. But it's not consistent, it's only a 25% chance. So what I want to do is I want to try to get one of these enemies to drop a Wretchling, which will give me acid blows, which turns all of my damage to acid. That will interact much better with bleak outcome, because every time I deal any damage, once a turn at least, it will increase it, or it'll stack the debuff. We're going through, we've got some mutilators here, which are basically just big 3-armed demons out to kill you. We've got escape from the... Oop, keep doing this little dance. Got escape from the dungeon we're being held in. Alright, we've leveled up, you see that there, and then here our thing starts to glow. So we open the level up screen, and we get to start choosing where to put some more points. Informal combat's not that good, from what I recall. The biggest thing it does is having an easy way of spreading out fire early on is nice for getting Vim up, and also getting rid of small enemies. We are going to put a point in shield offense. Putting points in shield offense raises the stun duration, and so if you can get the stun duration to the same as the cooldown, which is 6, and I don't know if I can do it with shield pummel, it will allow you to essentially keep the enemy perma-stunned, which is really beneficial. On generic points, I'm going to go ahead and hit another point into Willful Tormentor to get me some extra Vim. Always good to have extra Vim. And then 2 points in magic, 1 in strength. And we're going to keep exploring. We got another investigator here. Not going to bother spending my rush cooldown on it. I'm just going to walk up, hit it with a shield, stun it. Here we got a demonic clerk trying to attack me. Take a step back. It'll miss. Come down here. Oop. And now I'm in trouble. So I've been pulled by the investigator into the middle of all these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my shield. I'm going to move back up here. And then I'm going to cast my Flame Leash, which will kind of bathe that whole area in fire for a little bit. Then I'm just going to go ahead and mop up, because from here it's not so bad. Shield blocks have a thing where if you block a attack entirely, you get an ability called Counterstrike on the enemy that you block, which I believe doubles the next damage. Let me see if it... Nope. Counterstrike essentially doubles the damage or something like that, or lets it auto-crit. I'd have to look again. It's on one of the tooltips. But it's useful because it actually turns the shield into a much more offensive weapon than it appears at first, because you get to like set enemies up. And one of the big things with shield offense, there's an ability called Assault, which actually hits 3 times and auto-crits. So you block... You use the talent that lets you block multiple times, or lets your Counter-Strike last multiple times, and then you assault, and you can get some crazy huge critical strikes. Let's go ahead and do that. And boom. Alright, rest up, and continue investigating. These guys rush, so... Yeah, okay, good. I was like, if you're close enough, they won't... because they want to get the free hit. If you rush from far enough away, you get a free hit. Oh, teleport right next to me. These little demon clerks, phase door, which is a short-range teleport, it's very irritating, but it's not that hard to deal with. Stunned, demon seed. And let's do a Flame Wreath. Flame Lash. Demon Seed. Basically, I want to be using Demon Seed almost on cooldown, essentially. Because even though it has a Vim cost associated with it, it does return Vim when I cast it. Now I'm going to explore the rest of the level. Here we got a little dude. Run forward, dodge fireball. There's another dude. Dash forward, kill him. Dash forward, kill him. With the clerics, you want to dash, take them out, especially if you know you don't have any other attacks coming up, because generally explore means all your cooldowns are off. Okay, and then we find ourselves a portal to the next level, which just looks like a portal to the next level. One of the systems in Tales of Maj'Eyal is that there's a transmogrification chest rather than items just filling up your inventory. Everything goes into this magic chest you get right at the beginning of the game, or pretty close to the beginning of the game, and they hang out there until you go to leave the level, and they don't weigh anything as long as they're in your chest. At the end of the level, you basically pick everything out you want, and everything else will be transmogrified into gold. So it's essentially like an item shop that happens every level automatically. It's a really neat system, and it kind of helps balance out the whole encumbrance. Means something because you can't keep a lot of items around, but it means that like generally you can loot everything and you're not having to make dumb decisions like, oh, do I want this sword or this other sword to sell, which isn't very fun. We got an Elm Vial Staff, which does nothing for me, and a Cleansing Rough Leather Belt, which is Arcane Disrupting, which is bad because I use Arcane Talent, so I'm going to transmogrify both of them. Lost Memories. There's a lot of lore in this game. It would take forever to read through it all. You essentially find out that you are being experimented on so that the demons can make stronger and stronger demons, and then they use like a pain blocking agent and then heal you and everything. So you're part of their experiments. These little statues can spawn monsters to do other things. They're not worth fucking with unless you know what you're doing. You're aiming for an achievement. Nope. Fireball. Get him. Ooh, that's not good. The fireball does a fair amount of damage for this point in the game, so I'm always trying to avoid getting hit by it. Oop, if I can. Doo-doo. Just gonna go through here. These clerks are like the most irritating part of this part. So all the Ashes of Rock classes and the race, the Doom Elves, get a special start in this zone. This is not a traditional zone. You can see Maj'Eyal off in the corner there behind my health bar. So we're going to push them forward. We're going to do a Demon Seed. Going to dodge out of the way. Come back. Throw up a shield and just keep wailing on these guys. Alright, I think we're good to rest. Have I gotten a... No. I'm really hoping I get a demon from Demon Seed here soon, because I really could use one. That's not good. One of the things that will kill you more than anything else is getting bored or getting complacent. So that's the big risk, and it's actually one of the reasons I'm playing on the harder difficulty level right off the bat. I'm not super good at the game, but it keeps the beginning of the game dicey enough that you're not zoning out and then getting killed, which is a really big problem. We got our level up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a point in a Wraith form, which lets me walk through walls. It's not worth putting a lot of more points into. You can do things like increase your defense and armor with it, but mostly it's an escape mechanism. Then I'm going to put a point into... let's put another point into Bleak Outcome. 2 points in magic, 1 in strength. Yep. That'll set us up for next time, or next level, to be able to pick up the second tier of spells or talents, which require 20 in the stat and level 4. So, that guy with that. Ooh, I got a demon seed, and I got a maul I'm not going to use, at least not for now. So I got a new demon seed. You can see here it's level 4. It's still flame bolts. I am going to equip it because it's the exact same level. It's the exact same thing. Okay, never mind. Well, that's dumb. I was hoping it'd be it's supposed to be a higher level. Let's attack that guy. Oop. Don't get fireballed in the face. Don't get fireballed in the face. It wasn't. Oh yeah. So that was. Oh man, that jumped up. That was a whole history of Malrock, which is this people's world, and they blame basically everything that happened to them on wizards from Maj'Eyal, which is why they're coming to fuck everything up. It's long and weirdly translated, and so I'm not going to bother going through it. But at any time, you can always see show known lore, and you can see here it's this giant bit. The lore in this game is pretty good. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's consistent and it's decently well written, and they set up an interesting world. So there's parts of it that are kind of fun. So dodge the fireball, guy teleports away. Oh, gotcha. Nope. Didn't see the other guy in time. One of the things I like about roguelikes is because there is generally turn-based combat, you're not like you're not worried about twitch reflexes, right? Like it moves as fast as you do, which can be good or bad, because if you move really quick, you can do dumb things like get yourself killed. But there's certainly nothing inherently about the game that screws you over. Another lost memory that's basically shows that you got linked to a crystal, etc., etc. And it shows that the crystal is how they keep track of you, so you've got to find the crystal and break it, and then you'll be able to get away. So that's what we're doing here on the 3rd level. This stage is pretty repetitive. In general, the game has a good variety of stages, but each individual stage tends to have similar enough level design. But the stages are like up to 5 levels, and there's a bunch of them. So, like in general, the level design is decent for being randomly generated. Go out here, get set on fire, rush, shield slam. One more rush, shield slam, demon seed, rest. Try and get the mutilator before it gets me. Rush, shield slam, demon seed. Alright. Dodge the fireball. And just walk up to the mutilator, why not? Demon seed. Dodge the fireball, punch it in the face. Yeah, I don't know if it's a happy accident that I keep being able to see their fireballs when they cast them, or if it's like specifically there, but it's nice. Gives you a cool little Matrix moment there. Let's rush this guy before he can hit me. Shield. Still nothing. No, just... Oh, I guess I actually have another rune. Runes are interesting in this game. Let's talk about those real quick. Tales of Maj'Eyal doesn't have consumables. It has a rune system, which is much closer to... I mean, you get consumables that are reusable over and over and over. So, for instance, you have a certain number of slots you can have, and you can redo the runes with any number. So I've got a rune of shielding, which allows me to protect myself for 100 damage. A rune of phase door, which lets me teleport randomly into a range of 10. And I've got a rune of biting gale, which does a cone of damage and removes one random detrimental mental effect. So that'll be a little bit nice, a little bit of free damage. Generally, the damage inscriptions aren't all that good. I prefer not using them, but at this point in the game, you basically take what you can get. Ooh, is this a... Oh, it's a dagger. Yeah, it's a dagger. It might be better than what I got. Let's see here. A little bit extra damage. Some acid. Yeah, so we're going to equip the... No, I don't have enough dex. Okay, we're not going to equip the dagger. We're going to punch this guy in the face some more. The loot in this is pretty bad early on. Okay, Iron Longsword of Vileness. This is perfect. In fact, this is perfect on multiple levels. So, this... I get blight damage, which means that every turn I'm going to be racking up bleak outcome. And on top of that, it's a little bit of a damage boost. And you can see the difference here by holding control. So I get less damage in base attack, but I get 6 flat blight damage every turn and a chance to cast a disease. So all in all, an upgrade. Head slash that guy. Slash that guy. Kind of had a rhythm. Yeah. Do something stupid, get hit by a fireball. Okay, so that's the crystal we're going to need to destroy in order to end the level. So I'm going to... Oop. Yeah, there we go. Oop. Okay, so we're going to rest. And now when we use this crystal, the disturbance is attracted to the planar controller. So we get this cool planar controller major demon boss. Huge demon towers above you. It is obviously in control of all the portals in the nearby Fearscape area. So this is our first boss. He has 400 hit points. Most of the other things have like 40. He does a fair amount of damage. We're going to start by seeing if I can stun him. I missed. Now we're going to see if I can get a demon seed on him. I also missed. We're going to run away from the demon fire and get him out of it so he stops healing. And then we're going to... Let's try Flame Leash. Alright, that hit it. Just stab him. Okay, so Shield Bash. Alright, Planar Controller is stunned. So, stun means his movement's slowed, he's off balance, and I'm stacking Bleak Outcome, which probably isn't going to mean much. I'm going to equip Doom... I'm going to turn on Doom or Osmosis Shield. Osmosis Shield lets you essentially... you block a bit of damage you receive, and then it starts stacking this heal over time. So it's 9 currently, and then later on you can do things like remove physical effects. But, so I'm going to turn that on. This is going to drain my Vim every turn though, which is kind of the downside. So, hit him, Demon Seed. We really want to land that Demon Seed because Demon Seed has a high chance to land on bosses. That's 52. Let's get a stun. Keep an eye on his health. Alright, so I'm getting low. So I'm going to pop my shield. Oop. Okay, there we go. Now he's infected by a demon seed. So that's good. So now I don't have to worry about anything before I kill him. Bam. Alright, so I killed him. I got a Summertide Vial. I got a Rod of Recall. The Summertide Vial is our first rare item other than Tirikai's Maul, which I kind of breezed over because I can't use it. It is a light. You have a equipment slot for like lanterns and stuff. It gives the big thing it gives is a healing modifier, so all healing I take is increased by 10%. It changes damage for light, which I don't really care about. It gives me resistance to light, which is nice. Lets me call light, which is okay, not that useful. But it does increase my my lantern radius essentially by 2, which gives me a wider field of view. Very useful. I also got a Demon Seed for Wretchling. This is what I was looking for with Corrosive Slashes, but I might leave it alone for now. What Corrosive Slashes does is it turns all of your physical attack damage into acid, but that means anything that takes acid damage is going to be more resistant to it. So I'm going to just leave the Fire Imp on there for now and call that good. I got a Steel War Axe. This will give me a little bit more damage, but I lose my chance to disease and flat damage per turn. It does do a big burst on crit though. In general, I'm not super excited about this. Yeah, I'm just going to let that be transmogrified. Alright, go through the portal. Oop. Escort, Lost Sun Paladin. Escorts are a thing in this game where basically you have to get the dumbest person in the world to where they're going. You made it to Maj'Eyal. You're not sure where, but it cannot be worse than the Fear Escape. Sure. Lost Sun Paladin here. Basically, I can either say go away or I can say lead on. If I say lead on, then I can get bonuses from her. I can either get an entire talent tree that I can unlock, or I can get a specific talent. I got an achievement, Hell hath no fury, like a demon scorned, and quest is done. And Echoes of the Spell Place. Yeah, you get a lot of stuff there. What this does when you complete that initial stage is it just teleports you randomly into a level 2 of one of the tier 1 dungeons. We're in Norgos' lair, which is basically this giant monster. We're going to go ahead and level up real quick because I should have... So I got 6 points, so I'm going to put 2 into strength, or 3 into strength and 3 into magic. This will bring me up into having enough for tier 2. Riposte, even a single point of riposte is useful because it increases the counter-strike debuff on attackers by 1 turn. And the number of counter-strikes it can perform on a target while they're vulnerable by 1. These are both really useful. The next real stack is I think if you get this to 4, then you increases both those by 1, so it'll be 2 turns of duration and 2 turns of number of attacks. Both of those are quite useful. I'm going to put a point into combat accuracy, which will help me with all the missing I was doing. I'm going to put a point into Demonic Pact, and then another point to Bind Demon. Or these are both Bind Demon. This allows me to basically, now I get a Bind Seeds to my ring, and now and my shield. After this, I'll get a Bind a Seed to my second ring, and then to my body armor. And this will let me get more demons, slot them into my stuff, get sweet bonuses. The demon bonuses are quite good. And that's all our points. It also lets you can summon the demons kind of like Pokemon. It's not a great idea because they tend to die quickly, and once they die, you can't use them anymore. Like, using them like that uses them up entirely. It's not just a minor thing. So, Sun Paladin died. The escorts are really dumb. They won't heal themselves. They won't run away from danger, really. So, they're hard to keep alive. What you want to do is, like I was doing, where I block them in and keep them from running into their death. But the problem is when you're dealing with something like area of effect, they just will stand in it and die like idiots. Get some stuff. Browse through. So this is the alternate version of Norgos Lair. I can tell because there's a bunch of ice elementals. This was added a couple patches ago, maybe a year or so. It essentially added extra versions of each starting or each tier 1 dungeon and tier 2 dungeon to mix things up a bit. Here you can see, so this here is where the Sun Paladin needed to go, and then I would have gotten a bonus. Oh. Okay, we're dealing with a white snake that can use throwing knives. So I'm going to rush it, hit it with a shield, hit it with a demon seed. I didn't apply it, but I don't care. This purple border around it means that this boss is a rare, or this enemy is a rare. So they get certain player abilities. They're pretty dangerous. They're not as dangerous as Rand bosses, which are the most dangerous, but they're still something to worry about. Here's another one. Yeah, Narukira, the ultimate Shivgaroth. So he's already a ultimate Shivgaroth, which is a thing. And now he's a rare as well. We can see, if we inspect a creature, we can see what talents and stuff he has. So here he has Mana Surge, Disarm Trap, Lightning, Flame, Ice Shards, Frozen Ground, Ice Storm. It seems like he got some, like a Spell Blade or something like that. I'm going to pull him in, hit him with Demon Seed, hit him with that to try and stun him. It did not work, but I did get him down to 38%. I'm going to throw my shield up, and I guess just keep hitting him, because I don't have a lot of other options. up Osmosis Shield, see if I can get some points for this. What's he at? 19%. Can I get there in time? Okay. Hit him with that. Throw up that. And I might die now, but I might be okay. Yeah, because I'm healing myself with the shield. Okay. So I'm going to pop my Wraith form and Wraith form. Passing through walls but not natural obstacles. Well, apparently that didn't work, so I'm going to try and get away the old-fashioned way. Oh, I died. Okay. I overcommitted and thought the Wraith form would let me move through those walls. Apparently it won't work through natural obstacles or something. When you die, you have a certain number of lives. We've gone here. We're talking to the Eidolon. It's essentially a humanoid shape that's the, like, death interface. I'm going to go back. Because now I'm at full health, and now I can definitely deal with this guy. So, we're going to pull him in. We're going to hit him with the Shield Flash. We're going to hit him with a Demon Seed, which kills him, and then we're going to throw up our shield and back away. Gonna get our shield up. Okay, so Dire Wolf, hit him with that. Hit the Dire Wolf with that. Smack him. Throw the shield up. Okay, cool. Now I should be alright. I was able to get my stuff back. Okay. I don't like this alternate start because the Shivgaroths are actually fairly dangerous. So I'm going to run away, which is not a bad idea. In my things, I have a neat ring. Gives me some extra damage. Gives me some willpower. Gives me some resistances. These are all good. I've got Great Maul, Star Staff, Steel War Axe. Nope. Spiked rough leather armor, an iron shield with worse stats. Okay, we're all good here. So that all goes away. So we're gonna go see if I can get a sweet shield, because a better shield is gonna be a huge use to me. So to do that, we're going to go to Last Hope, which is the biggest town in Maj'Eyal. We're going to go here to the armor store, and we're going to see what they got as far as shields go. I would prefer Dwarven Steel, but I see they don't have any, so I'm going to get a Steel Shield, which is Tier 2. Weapon and equipment comes in one of 5 tiers that basically determines base stats, and then there's modifiers to it, like acidic or whatever, that change the way things work. For shields, you can block any element that the shield has on it, so like a flaming steel shield will let me block fire damage. A steel shield of radiance will let me block light damage. This one is actually pretty good. It gives me a bunch more block value, gives me the ability to block fire damage, and it does a lot of damage when I hit things or when I am hit. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this flaming steel shield. What do we got here as far as armor goes? This is Dwarven Steel. Blight, life regen, maximum life. This is all good stuff here. Do I have enough armor for it, or do I have enough money for it? Yeah, I do. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this up, I think. Can't equip it yet, but it'll get me there. And with my 50 remaining money, we're going to see... Let me show you an interesting mechanic in this game. So sometimes good guys spawn as rares, and so if you swap places with them until they run into the water and then wait long enough, they will drown. And it's one of those super strange things. And I got armor for it. So, yeah. It's not like great. This isn't how, you know, I think people are supposed to do this stuff, but it is quite amusing, so I'll take that. Let's see if I can get any weapons. Longsword, this stuff's all too expensive. And I won't get much for selling it. Okay. So we'll come back later. But I am going to equip that shield, transmogrify the old one, transmogrify some of the extra stuff I got lying around. It's tier 2. I'll keep it. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to keep clearing the tier 1 dungeons. We're going to go into... Actually, let's start with the human ones, because they're nice and easy, and this has some extra stuff. We're going to level up, because we got to level up from watching that man die. Tome is a strange game sometimes. We're going to go ahead... I'm just going to close this tree, because that 1 point in Wraith form is good enough. We're going to slam points into Demonic Pact until this thing gets level 5, because there's very little we have right now that is more important than getting Demonic Pact up. Basically, the more things that we can bind demons to, the better. That is our level up. Let's go ahead here. And now we're just going to kill me some fire dragons. Oh. Except I might die. Okay, far enough away to get the shield. And rest. My damage output early on isn't very good, so that's the big thing that I keep running into, is that I... Nekura, the mid-swarm attacks, Jex attacks. Okay. See if I can freeze it. I can't. See if I can throw up my osmosis shield. Nope. Well, I killed it, and I killed it and got killed at the same time. If we review the combat log, we can probably figure out why. It just hit me for a lot of damage, essentially. And I hit it for a little bit of damage. And got killed. So. Well, ready to go back. It did give me some sweet boots, so that's nice. Gonna equip those. I see that I did get a demon for my offhand. It gives me it reduces fire damage by a fixed amount and gives me 15% fire resist, so that's pretty nice. I'll go ahead and just keep on keeping on. Our general rule is we want to get a demon seed on everything we can. Definitely want to be collecting demons as much as possible. The spell won't give you a worse demon than you already have for that slot. So the nice thing is that I don't have to worry about filling up my equipment, or filling up my inventory. Rush. Why not? Okay, cool, it worked. That was a rand boss, or not a random boss, it was a fixed boss, where it's a patchwork troll. Shows up in this area and a couple others. I got a planar beacon for killing him, which is a light that lets me shift into the Fearscape. It's basically a short-range teleport with damage on it. It's okay. I like having a light source better than I do a short-range teleport, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. There's a brown bear here, which I can see for some reason. It's stealthed. It does not have much in the way of damage. It is a rogue, essentially, so it has rogue talents. I'm going to go ahead and throw a shield up to make sure it doesn't poison me, and then get my demon seed on, throw up my osmosis shield, do my rune blast, and try to get some distance between me and it. Okay, so this is good because this whole time it's going to be burning, and it lets me regen my things. Alright, I stunned it. I hit it with there. Hit it with Demon Seed. I never landed Demon Seed on it, unfortunately. But, yeah, fine enough anyway. Those, monsters like that are actually pretty damaging. The Venus flytrap that we just saw briefly, let me see if I can see him. So that motherfucker, these things are the worst part of early game. They hit you with an ability that does a decent amount of damage on its own, like 10, and then stacks poison on you. So you want to just move out of the range of it for a little bit and then try to get really close and kill it quickly. Oh, another rare. Okay. Gonna go ahead and just hit it a couple times. I've been stunned, which is why some of my abilities are on cooldown. Seeing what stunning does to you shows how powerful it is when you use it on other people. Okay, cool. Fox is dead. We've just got this dumb little poison ivy down here. It's another small plant that shoots things at you like the poison ivy or the Venus flytrap. It's just less problematic because it doesn't do nearly as much damage. We have a honey tree here. This wouldn't normally be a thing that is a problem, but it's actually a little summoner. It summons bees and stuff to attack you. So. We're gonna go ahead. There's another escort we picked up. I'll probably wrap this up after the end of the stage. Kill a bear. Follow the escort around. Try to keep him from being killed. Level up. Another point in demonic or bind demon, because why not? Let's see here. So I think I should have enough. Do I have a slot on my armor? Nope, goes off actual talent level, not effective talent level. 1 point there, and a point over in... let's just keep putting in bleak outcome. It's always good to get more them going on. A couple more points in strength, and a point in magic. Hit the bear. Oh, cool, I got the Lost Warrior. So, he'll allow for training of talent category conditioning, which is okay. It's not that great, unfortunately. I mean, it is if you have the talent points. I've just never really gotten used to doing that. I'm just going to take one of his free talents that he gives out. Poison, disease, and wounds reduces duration. I believe Unflinching Resolve is probably better. Unflinching Resolve gives you another chance to... Oh, that wasn't good. Phase... Yep, okay, phase door. That was a good idea. Except that it's going to follow me. Fine. Get over here, rat. Try and rest. Okay, cool. I was able to fight him on my own terms, at least. Let's get out of here. Fight that troll, fight that bear. Fight that, fight that. These things are probably... Ooh, another rare. So we've got a copperhead snake. Got some decent resists. Gonna go ahead and stun it. Or attempt to stun it. Run away. Can I freeze it? Oh, I could, but it wasn't enough. Alright, well. Let's go ahead and do this. Stun? Okay, cool. Yeah, that one stun dealt 85 total damage. So, yeah, took him out almost entirely. I'm going to throw a Demon Seed on there, and it kills him. A lot of these guys, if you can get the jump on a lot of enemies, you can deal with them pretty quickly. It's not a huge big deal. Go ahead and fire. We move on to the final part of this dungeon, and none of these things are worth keeping. There's a repentant thief. Yeah, sure, I'll try and protect you. You can talk to them by hitting F1 or by clicking on their thing up there. You can tell them to wait. You can also ask them where. So it's to the northeast. I'll try and head them off. Yeah, I know there's a fly trap to the south. Where are you going? Ugh. Okay, well, fair enough. Like I said, these guys are difficult to deal with. Okay, far away to the northeast. Take care of that troll. Okay. Now I just have to... Alright, and I got him. I'm going to learn track. Heightened senses isn't bad either. I just like having track. Basically, it lets you do that. I can see anything around me for a couple turns. It's useful when I'm going to be heading around corners or anything like that. And just not having a good time of it on some of these. Alright. Well. Oh, it's a solipsist. Okay. If I survive this slumber, I'm going to try and run away. Because these guys are a pain. At the very least, I'll try to run away long enough to... Ooh. Run away long enough to... Nope, and I died. The bosses like that tend to be very, let me look at the chat log so we can see here. Zaraseth, the large bite snake. If we look at his talents, he had double strike, uppercut. Basically, it was a brawler snake, which is a little crazy, I guess, when you think about it. But I guess unarmed would work for a snake. They have no arms at all. So there is that. And he will basically was using uppercut and the other stuff to just beat the shit out of me. So there you go. Alright, well that was a single run through of Tales of Maj'Eyal in really bad aspect ratio. I'll see what I can do about that, whether I can try and squish it down or do something else to try to make this more viewable. So, alright, thanks folks.